Everyone wants the crown, but no one wants the weight. We're at a point where leadership is in crisis because everyone is avoiding accountability. That and more today on Leading Forward with Nick and Jeremy. All right, Jeremy, we are back with Leading Forward and continuing to invest in leaders. You know, I had a conversation with a business leader just this last week, just talking about how important it is that we continue to invest in leaders. When we invest in leaders, everyone around them gets better.
Absolutely, man.
But today we're talking about leadership in crisis.
Yeah.
And this is a weight that we've experienced, we've seen, we've been able to help people through. And so it's all about the lack of accountability. Why do you think we are living in this crisis today?
I think that when we talk about leadership in crisis, I think that the origin of the word crisis merits a bit of unpacking.
All right.
So like someone on your team or who may be in a different position on the team, they may come to you and say, hey, wow, bells are ringing, like they're sweating, and they say, hey boss, we got a situation, we got a crisis. And once you hear it, you're like, that's not a crisis, man. That's an easy one, bro. But so just defining what a crisis is and isn't. And yes, a crisis can be a very emotional time that we might want to respond. It can be like, hey, something is about to happen that's negative if we don't act. But it can also be an opportunity. A crisis really, I don't know that the term is necessarily a negative term. I think I'll make that argument, bro. I think a crisis is an opportunity for, and then I honestly think God has a lot to do with that blank that comes after that.
Yeah, I think you're right in there. I think that crisis is not just a negative thing. It can be a positive thing. I think that's how politicians use it, right? Never let a crisis go without an opportunity.
That's right.
And so they want to spin it however they want. And we're in political season right now and all the things that are going on. But crisis is this opportunity. And for great cultures, great teams, leadership who doesn't shy away from accountability, and they're working to build a culture, this is an opportunity to strengthen what you're building, to strengthen what you're trying to do if you're willing to lean in.
That's great. Yeah.
So I don't know, the leadership in crisis, we see this in the world today, both good and bad, right? We see the weight of this and we're experiencing it on all different levels. I know part of accountability is discipline. And you've experienced that in military, your time in police work, your work in the church, your leadership development. How do you think this plays out on all those different levels and that there's no level that you can escape it?
Man, it does hit every level. And this isn't just in business or church world or military, or it's not a law enforcement thing. Like it's in every potential situation or team that we can think of. Crisis is going to be part of it. Like it's not even if, there will be crisis. How do we know this? Well, we look at the life cycle that everything has. Everything has a life cycle. And at certain points in the life cycle, if that thing is no more, or if it has ever gone through a significant change, there was a moment of crisis. And someone had to make a decision in that moment or in those moments of what to do. And a big part of it is accountability, like we're talking about. I think it's relevant. I was in the U.S. Marshal Service, and I was pretty early in, 5 years in. And I got to a task force, and Nick, man, I felt like I arrived. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, dude, I arrived. I'm with the big dogs, and we're gonna be working cases, and it's gonna be sexy and fun, and it was. But I had a couple of different priorities. The task force had some priorities: gangs, violent offenders, and sex offenders. And I had just recently I got this coveted sex offender investigation spot. It was me and one other guy who was very salty and senior, salty in a good way, like a vet. And we worked for about a year, and it was heavy on prosecutions and depositions and surveillance. And I didn't get the quick hits of adrenaline that I did with the team stuff. I liked working with the team. And I thought I was winning until one day when I was called to account, and my boss sat me down along with the other guy. And they said, Jeremy, do you understand your role on this team? And I'm like, I think I do. Yeah, I'm closing cases. Like I'm no chump. You know, I'm racking it up. I didn't say that. You know, I had my bearing.
But you're kind of a bad dude. You're making things happen.
You know, young and
yeah, you're awesome at this point.
But then they said, do you know how to win? Do you know what winning looks like? And my peacock feathers were going up, and I remember feeling defensive. You know, that's the first thing that we typically feel. But then, because they had such a good tone, and they didn't let me escape accountability, they said, what you need to do, what we brought you here for, is to focus 80% of your time on sex offender investigations. There's only 2 of you. So just the way that conversation went, I got embarrassed, right? I got embarrassed about, okay, duh. Like, that makes sense. I should have known. There were only 2 of us. But that was a turning point for me as we're thinking of examples of like how accountability can, when consistently demonstrated and modeled and required and expected at all levels, it can elevate where the team goes.
Yeah, this is so good. One of the things I tell business leaders, and a big part of what I do with businesses, is helping them go through the hiring process.
Yeah.
Hiring is huge. We've talked about it before, making sure you have the right people on the team and all the things that come along with that. One of the things that I work through is you need to create your core values.
Absolutely.
As a company, as an organization, before you start hiring, because you have to hire for core values before you hire for skills.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And so with that, you hire for core values. Then what are the key competencies that are needed? Then skills are the last thing we hire for.
Good.
But part of the evaluation is core values, the key things that we've communicated to you, and then the skills are last as part of the evaluation as well. So the way I lay that out for companies is every employee, no matter how large the organization, it doesn't matter if you're a Fortune 500 or a new entrepreneur and you got 3 people working for you. Every single person needs a clear role. This is your job description.
Oh, this is
this is your job, right?
Yeah.
And don't make the assumption.
Yes.
Clear role, clear goal. Here's how you win. You thought you knew how to win, but when they ask if you know how to win, you weren't sure.
Yeah.
And so we have to make sure that people know how to win before we can evaluate them on if they're winning.
Yeah. Right.
So clear role, clear goal, clear expectations. Clear expectations is how do you perform within the team? And then clear evaluation. And I recommend when you have a new hire, 14, 30, 60, 90, and every 90 days afterwards, that you need evaluation. After that, it's everyone needs improvement and movement. You need to know where you can move up.
Yeah.
But that evaluation part, that expectation and evaluation is where accountability comes in. And everybody wants to talk about accountability, but accountability, the bigger weight is on the leader.
Yes.
Because the accountability starts not with holding my employee accountable, it starts with holding myself accountable. And that starts with, did I give them clear role, clear goal, clear expectation, and this is what you're going to be evaluated on.
Yes.
And so the way I've said that before is there can be no accountability without clear communication of expectation.
Exactly.
So what they did is they sit down with you. No one likes it, right?
Right.
But they sit down with you and go, we need to clarify what your win is, what your job is, what your goal is, how you win, and this is what you're going to be evaluated on.
Dude, and that could have been, for me, like that was a crisis moment. I had never received feedback like that. And so that's just another example of how, when handled well, everything that you're talking about, that is what came from it. That conversation brought out actually what should have happened at the get-go. I'll be honest. I don't want to own all of it because, the leader had to bear some of that from the get-go, but I should have asked. I should have sought clarity for sure. And
when you're the rookie, how do you know to seek clarity? You think you know, but you don't know.
Yeah.
And so, the highest form of leadership always starts at the highest level.
Yeah.
And the higher you go, the more accountable you have to be. You think if I own my own business, well, I don't have to be accountable to anybody.
You see that everywhere, don't you?
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I just have to be accountable, make sure my wife has money to buy groceries, right? And that's what so many, but there's so much more to it.
Yes.
You have to be accountable to everybody that works for you. You have to be accountable to yourself. And I was talking to this business leader, man, this guy's just a rock star this last week. His business is just growing. Guy that you just want to like shout and cheer for him and go, man,
Yeah.
let's keep you going and let's create some systems that help you get exponentially higher. And as we're just going through this process and just helping him, we want to be able to cheer on. And I told him, you know where most people fail in accountability? It's for themselves. Mm-hmm. He likes to leave early from work when his guys are still at work. And there's nothing wrong with that, except he's starting to plateau when he could be really elevating.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's good, man. That's good. Where do you see? Well, let me throw these out there to you, and then just tell me your thoughts on some of these. But I'm thinking of in a potential crisis situation. And by the way, as we talk about this, just know we've failed and fallen on our faces with these things. And we can think of, we were just looking at and talking before the pod about different examples, very public examples, and we might hit on some of those. But just, man, there is grace. Like if you have done this and you failed in a time of crisis, welcome to humanity. Like that's just kind of how it comes. Sometimes you're going to mess up. And afterward, it is very, very important to own it, to own it. These circumstances, you may have had no control over these circumstances, and you may have, with your gut, gone forward with what you thought was the right decision, and it wasn't. And just own it. Hey, guys, man, we pulled the trigger on this, and I have to tell you, I really thought this was going to be the win. Hey, we've had a season to evaluate, and what we've noticed are A, B, and C. And, man, just pivot.
When the leader takes that and owns it, hey, I made a decision for our organization. I thought we were going to go this way.
Yeah.
We made some strategic changes to hit this goal, and I was wrong.
Yep.
I own it. I'm going to be accountable for it to all of y'all.
Yeah.
And now here's what we have to do differently. And so if you've never been the leader who's accountable, if you've never been transparent, if you've never been authentic with your team, they think you're just always changing with the wind.
Right. That's good. It's a good distinction.
And there's a difference in pivoting with accountability versus, all right, let's try something new. Let's try something new.
Man, I think that's where leaders like Craig Groeschel, he says, man, what we want to be as an organization, and of course he's part of an amazing church. And we've talked about that before. The church is more than an organization, but it's also not less than one. And one of the things Pastor Craig says is that he wants his team to be full of small, nimble, flexible teams. And because he leads that way, because he sets that expectation, if there is a pivot, because there's the culture of, hey, we are going to change, we're going to flow, be like water. And, it's just, hey, okay, it's not this big punch on the chin. It's like, oh, whoa, okay, don't want to do that. What's next? What's next, leader?
Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's do it together. I missed. I thought we were going the right path.
Yeah.
What did I not see? And help me in that. Accountability it's at every level, and there's no escaping it, right? And part of the holding people accountable is you have to hold yourself accountable, and you have to be willing to have the hard conversations.
Yeah.
That's true as parents.
Talk about it.
Right. I mean, parenting is hard. Because you always have to be on your kids, on top of your kids, evaluating their phones, seeing what they're looking at. It creates so much. I said it creates. That's not the right word. It drains so much energy from you to do these things. But without those, the consequences become drastically worse.
Dude, and you have these crises. And as a pastor, you've seen this and I've seen this. As a pastor, people will come to you when the crisis happens because they've had a road of no accountability for themselves or for their kids or for their marriage. And then they get to this head and they hit a wall and they say, Pastor, fix my marriage. Pastor, like, what are we going to do? What are you going to do? What resources do you have? And of course, we want to lean in and help. But your failure to plan and be accountable does not constitute an emergency on my part. So when they're calling me up at midnight or 2 a.m., I love some of the writings that I've read, just funny stories of pastors getting called in the middle of the night. This is going on. Okay, well, say you're sorry, pick back up tomorrow, and let's talk tomorrow, man. It's not a crisis for me, at least.
Yes, and I want to be there for it to help you. I want to be able to go through this process with you and help you to be at your very best. And so, when actions go unchecked, it begins to create culture. That culture is reinforced by more of those same actions. Right. The way Simon Sinek says it is that culture is values plus beliefs.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Values plus behavior equals culture.
Yes.
Values plus behavior equals culture. And so if you say we have this value, but you let everybody break that value, then your behaviors don't match. And so this is what everybody will result with.
Yes.
Everybody's going to default to the lowest form of it, right? So you can't say we have this value and allow everybody to perform at this level.
I wrote this on our board this week. The worst thing that you allow will become your culture. Exactly what Simon's talking about, right?
Yeah, and your culture determines how healthy you are.
Yeah.
And it determines how fast you go.
Yes, it does.
How fast you can level up, how fast you can go to the next level.
The talent you attract.
Retention.
Retention.
Low-level leaders never want accountability.
Yeah.
The highest form of leadership, I want accountability. I want discipline. I want people around me who will hold me accountable to be at my very best.
That's right.
And so I wish I would put this clip for us, but I saw this coach and it was just talking about which one of these players are you going to draft?
Oh, yes.
Did you see this? And going, you're going to hire this rock star who can go out and on Saturday night, he can be out in the clubs till 2:00 in the morning. He's going to show up as a wide receiver. He's going to have 9 catches for 142 yards and be fine. And you're going to go, wow, that's incredible. Let's still recruit that. He said the problem is he's going to take 6 guys to the club with him, and all of them will tank the next day. But this other guy, if we draft him and we get him on our team, he's going to keep the other 6 guys from going to the club.
Yeah, that's great.
That's where that accountability comes in. That really levels up your team.
Man. Okay, so a couple of things that I actually squirreled away from. 3 pitfalls. Let's talk about a couple of pitfalls for leadership in a moment of crisis. First one being emotional reactivity.
Okay,
emotional reactivity. We all have all emotions are good, but not all behavior is, and therefore not all actions are. I think that's a word for our whole freaking culture right now.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Emotions are fine. Emotions are there for a reason. They can. What does Pastor Josh say? It's a cockpit metaphor. They make great warning lights on the dash, but not control panel.
Okay, that's good.
Right? They have a function and a purpose. If we are responding emotionally, this is kind of like the ground ball, no duh thing that you can see because when it happens, it's very obvious. When your leader reacts emotionally, number one, it's probably very rapid. It's a quick response, and there's nothing that it's good to make fast decisions and be able to move quickly. So, but not just on emotion, and in politics, bro. And can we just go there for a moment?
Yeah, go ahead.
What just happened when at State of the Union and certain people just responding to things that President Trump is saying, and they're just shouting it out. That's a very dignified setting, professional, and you're just peeing in everybody's Cheerios and you're showing everybody your belly button, and it's like, no, what are you doing? That is such an emotional response.
Yeah, that you've lost all decorum.
Yes, good word. Yeah, so emotional. What do you think about that? Have you seen it?
One of the things that I've started thinking through and processing through and really trying to maybe even think through better how to explain this. But your emotions can be real, but it doesn't make them true.
Okay.
And I think that maybe something we can unpack on another episode, but they are a real feeling that you have. You do have this real feel. It's real.
For sure.
It's valid. You have every reason to feel this way, but it doesn't mean it's fully true.
Yeah. Doesn't mean that others also are required to feel the same thing.
That's right.
At the same level.
Yeah.
It's just immaturity. It's
All right,
it's
so that
low
was number
EQ.
one.
Yeah.
What's
Number
number two?
two is analysis paralysis. So again, 3 pitfalls, right? The first one being an emotional response. The second one being analysis paralysis. And we know what that is. It's just, there are all these things flying. Bullets are flying if in some situations. In other situations, your top 2 guys just walked out on you, and you got a big contract coming up. Whatever the setting is, you have to gather yourself and you have to evaluate the terrain. But if you stall out, you risk catastrophic consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And part of the analysis paralysis is getting to the point that I'm overanalyzing every possible option of how this conversation will go, so I just don't say anything.
Yeah.
Which the worst decision is no decision.
That's right.
And by not making a decision, you're making a decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right. So give us number 3.
And there's no ownership in that. If you fail to own it, then
You're creating culture.
you're in the wrong seat, ma'am. You're in the wrong seat, sir. Like, you need to slide over because something needs to shift. Okay, finally, communication gaps. Okay, so this is where we've seen maybe the leader did everything right. Maybe the board did everything right.
Sure.
And the elders said this, and hey, man, this is great. But the communication falls on its face. And that can happen in multiple ways. It can be hey, I communicate, we're going to move this direction, and I said it once, and everybody should be able to get it. But they may need more than one moment of communication. You may need to continue, especially if the crisis is still happening. External circumstances, COVID-19 is a shining example of this. Fast moving, facts and data is changing. And so you just need to figure out, like, hey, what is the rhythm of communication? So I made the decision. Here's what we're doing. And how am I going to get it communicated? Who's going to communicate it? Yeah.
Well, and I think great organizations move fast.
Yes, absolutely.
Therefore, your communication has to be better and better and better
Yeah.
to continue to go fast.
And succinct.
Yes.
And clear.
Yeah. That it's kind. And if people don't know what they're evaluated on, people do not know the standard, people don't know what the plan is, then it's very hard to hold them accountable to their actions or even the response.
Yes.
Because you haven't prepped them for that.
Yeah.
So, I've worked with a whole bunch of different organizations and churches and businesses and all different sizes. One of the things that I saw was I worked with this company for a while, and one of their key leaders, he joked that one of his core values is laughing with his staff.
Yeah. Great. Love it.
It sounds really good on the service level until you start to compromise things that actually are core values of your organization in order to have fun.
That's good.
So you need to always be going back to what are our true core values, that this is a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
And these are the things that we can't break. This is where accountability. Worked with another company that the owner was a recovering addict.
Okay.
Man, he got clean. He was in a bad place for a long time, lost his marriage, remarried, in a good place, growing his business. And one of his core values is you will never show up to work drunk or high. And he gave everybody one.
Okay.
Give him one. Because he understands grace. He understands, man, this is who he was. And if you show up, well, you don't get to just go home. You're spending the day with him. But number 2, you're gone. It's a core value that I cannot compromise on.
That's it.
Because of my past, and I'm willing to hold you accountable to this level because I want the best for you.
Amen.
So, all right, let me show you something that I created this week. We've talked through this a little bit, and it's this Venn diagram.
Yeah.
So it's this idea of these three circles that we need leaders who are incredibly driven, right? Man, when you're a leader, you want to go and you want to go win and you want to go accomplish great things. And so we need that level of drive and desire to be great leaders. But then you have these other two circles of accountability and humility. That you have to be humble, you have to be accountable, that these things have to go together. If you are the driven leader and you have accountability, you're a high performer. You're always going to perform, but there's a danger that you become a bulldozer and run people over.
Yep.
Then you can have a driven leader who's incredibly humble, and he is a learner or she is a learner, but they don't always do. So with that, they become this unreliable dreamer. So they're always talking about dreams and ideas and things that could happen, but they never do, right? They never accomplish. And then you have someone who's accountable and humble, and they are the anchor. They are strong for your team. And that anchor can either hold you down or hold you down, right? Yeah. And they become this complacent teammate. And so to be this high level leader, you need to be driven, you need to be accountable, and you need to be humble.
It's really good.
Yeah.
You developed that, right?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, man. When you sent this over, I was I don't remember where I was. I was in between things. So I saw it, didn't give it full thought. I'm like, man, okay, hang on, let me sit. When I actually sat down with it, I went around a couple times and I can't push on it at all. I think it stands. I think as you're saying that, man, you probably did the same thing. I'm thinking of certain styles of leadership and people that fall into those categories. And, I'm trying to figure out where I am. And you probably did that. That's probably a good exercise for leaders to go through, is just plot yourself.
Okay. So a good leader should evaluate yourself.
Yeah.
But a leader who's struggling won't evaluate themselves because they're going to avoid accountability.
Facts.
So we want to encourage you, take some time, look through this diagram, think about where you are in this process and how you can be better. What areas do you need to grow in? What areas do you need to hold someone else on your team accountable for? And you do this for each other and just being able to go, hey, where are you in this? What does this look like? Sometimes we're reading too much and not doing enough. And sometimes you're doing too much and not going back and studying, and you're not valuing people. And that we always have to be evaluating.
That's great. Okay. You're going to have to evaluate me on this and I'll evaluate you. Is that cool? Not right now.
Oh, okay. I was going,
right now. No, because I need to think about it, man.
Yeah, really absolutely.
Consider things. Well, good, man. Thanks for that. That's going to be helpful to a lot of people. Hey, James, chapter 1, 2 through 4. This is where we read this and are challenged with consider it pure joy when you face trials of many kinds. And so to that, I would say crisis is not an interruption of leadership. It's a revelation within it. Crisis is a revelation of it, meaning what is a pressure? There's a term, pressure cooker. I don't even remember what it was.
It reveals what's already inside.
Absolutely, man. Pressure is the great revealer.
Yeah.
External pressure is the great revealer. It doesn't cause character to develop per se, but it does reveal the character that's there. Yeah.
And I would tell you that God designed our body to respond to pressure.
Yes, he did. It is the mechanism of growth.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. So pressure is not a bad thing. It is a good thing. I think it's even a God-given gift to us, whether it's responding with adrenaline or fight or flight or whatever that is, but it's the opportunity to lean into God and to grow.
And it's also a measuring tool. That pressure is a measuring tool. I'm going to give you a stupid example.
I like stupid examples.
We're putting flyers out in the parking lot today. We put some permanent signage. And, we have people parking in the lot from the high school. Dude, love it. Love them. Come to us on Sundays or Wednesday nights, man. We're going to love on you, cheer you on. But we've got a great partnership with the high school, so they don't want them over there for accountability reasons.
Sure.
And plus, we've had bad stuff go down in our parking lot. So we finally got the permanent signage, which means we can actually do something about it. We can tow if we need to. But I'm like, dude, I do not want to go out there and tow cars. I want to put signs on, take catalog, which ones we put signs on, develop a system for it. And the repeat offenders, you're going to get towed like next Thursday, dog. You're going to get towed. 2 of you. I'm going to tow 2 of them. But we went out there today and there was this, a car with, I didn't know at first, but I knocked on the window. I saw one kid. There were 4 kids in the car. He didn't open the door. He wouldn't roll the window down. And so I knocked again and I just smiled. I'm smiling, man. I'm trying to be a cool guy, right? It's cool, pastor. And they finally like opened the door and I explained, hey man, I'm Jeremy. I'm the pastor here. Here's the deal. Like, I want to help you guys, but we can't have you here. And I was trying to be super reasonable and he's just mad dogging me the whole time and tries to close the door as I'm talking. And my leg was,
and your police,
dude, and I had my leg right there and it like touched my leg and I started to resist and get fired up. And so in that moment I had a choice and I stopped. I actually just literally stopped talking and I walked away. Well, I put one more flyer on. I was trying to be cool. I walked away. They rolled the window down.
Said a few
I
things
think
to
they
you.
threw a sign at me.
Okay.
They crumpled the thing up, threw it in our parking lot.
Told you you're number 1.
They told me I was number 1. They gave me a good evaluation.
Good.
But in that moment, it was a chance for me to measure where I've grown and where I need to grow. And I failed my own standard, but I feel like that was much, much better than previous Jeremy.
Yeah, and I have no doubt about that. Okay, I 100% believe you. You know, I know this enough about you. You went to a great lengths before having to take this step.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
You know what just drives me crazy? I hate churches that have gates on their parking lot.
Let's talk about that's a whole episode.
I mean,
man.
that's a whole different thing. But you're going, I'm not trying to be that guy.
Yes.
But there's other authority that I'm submitting to. There's other authority that says we need your help on this.
Yeah.
And you're trying to play your part and be accountable to them, be accountable to the people in your parking lot, be accountable to the building that you're responsible for and all these different things. If we're not accountable, our growth stops. If we're not accountable, we begin to go down a dark path that leads to destruction. Whether you see that in politics, you see that in a business leader that failed, you see this in a corporation that failed, you see it in church leaders that fail, you see it in the Epstein files.
Yes.
Right? And all that. There was one time that someone should have said, hey, this isn't okay. And it got allowed. And the next thing got allowed. And no one said no.
Wow. Great example of that.
No one said, what are we doing? How can we live like this? How can we? And then it becomes accepted norm. And it, sin always takes you further and keeps you longer and costs you more than you ever thought it would. So if you want to be a great leader, you have to be accountable.
Love that, man. Love it. Where are we on time? Let's see. You got a few more minutes?
Sure.
You got a few more minutes? Okay. Man, I want to hop to something and just kind of, this is preliminary. This is in the works. But as we're thinking about like, okay, a lot of it comes down to decisions in the moment or, decisions in the time of crisis. And I've been a student of decision-making for a long time. Like that's what I'm writing on right now. And then everybody has different systems for how to make decisions. When level 1 is mission critical and let's prioritize. Absolutely. But I'm making it as clear as possible. And there's an acronym CLEAR. And it's C, which is clarify the mission. It's kind of a good thing to remember in a time of crisis.
Absolutely.
And sometimes it may not be. Maybe you don't have a clear picture of what the actual mission is. And that's a good time to pull your trusted people in and let's revisit it. Guys, what are we trying to do here? What's the second thing is L, and that's list, or actually I would say locate your options. Locate your option because they may be hidden. They may be in the process of, it may be a combination, like you've said, Nick, a combination of A and D from your team. So, locate the options. The E is evaluate. And by that, I mean, man, get the right counsel around you, get the right facts, data mine, figure out whatever you need to know, like, and refine it. Like, get rid of the stuff that you don't, that doesn't, all this other noise. It's the noise of leadership, right? Like, do everything you can to shut that off. And then A is act. And just like we talked about today, maybe I should change that to act accountably.
Yeah.
And own the decision. And then finally, you got to relay it. You got to relay it and review it. So as you relay it, that just means communicate. There's a third general order in the Marine Corps general orders. And it says, I will repeat all calls from posts more distant from the guardhouse than my own. Oorah. Somebody's giving me an oorah right now.
I hear it.
And meaning, like, relay it, but then empower and deputize the people who you relay it to. Hey guys, keep this going. Here's our communication channel. I need this to get to your leaders, and make sure that you ultimately review. Yeah.
All right.
It's fun.
I like it. I like it. And bringing in just this clear acronym, bringing in, this is what it means in the military. This is what it means in life. This is what it means in business. This is what it means on the family side, right? On every level. This was not part of it. And I just had this crazy idea came to mind. I see all these crazy videos, ICE protests and all these different things. And it's FAFO all the time, right? That's what everybody...
I'll have to ask you later. I don't remember.
Okay. Well, I'm not going to say.
Oh yes, I know
I'm
it.
not
I
going to
know
say
it.
if you don't know it. I'm not going to say what FAFO means right here. Okay. But what they're saying is, you will be accountable.
Yes.
FAFO is really, you're going to be accountable for your actions.
That's the corporate room way of saying it.
Yeah. Yeah. Or the street level way of saying it, right? And so if you're going to find out
Yeah.
that there's accountability for your actions.
Right.
No actions go unnoticed. No actions are not accountable. And so one of the things I pray is, God, may the words of my heart and the words of my mouth and meditation of my heart be pleasing to you. Because I want to be accountable to God in my actions, in my thoughts, in my intent, not just in what I do, but even in my intent, I want to be accountable to God. So I want to submit my life to God more and more. I want to put my life under the scrutiny of His Word, not me over His Word, so that I can be accountable to the ultimate authority in my life, not you, not my wife, not my kids, but God. Yeah. And so I want to submit and be accountable to the Word of God.
What do you think a good action step or challenge is for our listeners right now, or our viewers? What do you think a good action step for any leader at any level after hearing this today?
So if you're a leader and people are underneath you, you need to think about, what does your accountability level look like, and how are you evaluating and keeping your team accountable? If you're not, you are not doing them justice. You're not doing them any favors in this. So create a plan. If you don't know what that looks like, let us help you create an evaluation plan. Evaluate how you hire people, evaluate your motives, evaluate your intent. And so that in this, bring other people in to help you.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it's ultimately about, is we can be as disciplined and as motivated as we want, but we always need accountability. And that's what really helps us go the next level.
Amen.
So, man, it's a good episode.
It's great, dude.
Yeah, it's
I love
hard
it.
stuff. And there's nothing that it doesn't apply to.
Thanks for helping me grow.
We're in it together, your brother.
Yeah, man.
Hey, thank you so much for being a part of Leading Forward with Nick and Jeremy. We hope this time has blessed you. We hope that you continue to use these resources. We want to be here for you. Make sure that you like, subscribe, follow, share this with someone today. We'll continue to lead forward together.